My name is Chase Johnson. I'm from Denver, Colorado, and we have used C3 Group several times on some of our large loss commercials and our higher end residential for their appraisal services and their public adjusting services. Their knowledge of the market, of the ever-changing regulations, and their ability to create a very thorough estimate from an understanding of construction and the management of the project.
Happy Friday, everyone. Lead meteorologist John Choquette here for a slightly delayed 12 p.m. hail forecast. The computer decided it wanted to do an update right at noon. So if you got a notification saying we were live and then nothing happened, that is probably why. But don't worry, we are good to go now. Thanks to C3 Group and Merlin Law Group, as always, for sponsoring our videos. You can check out both of their pages in the description below if you're watching us here on Facebook. So, website and app, if you need any help, you're new to hail trace and you set up a training, give us a call, message us. We'll be happy to set one up for you and your team at the earliest convenience. So when a big storm happens, you are not left in the dust and confused when things are ongoing, or if you just want to kind of teach some guys some new stuff or whatever it needs to be, the phone number will appear at the end of the video here. We'll be happy to customize whatever you need to be. So yesterday evening, the Billings, Montana area got another pretty good hailstorm. Only a 3-star map this time. The area that was impacted was fairly confined to one section of Billings, but up to 2-inch hail, pretty wind driven, up over 11,000 homes impacted. Look at the pictures we were finding here. Quite a bit of damage just from the few pictures. I try not to say damage too much because we don't really know super concrete right away sometimes, but I can say that we definitely had well, it looks a fairly concentrated area of damaging hail, upwards of 2 inches, pretty uniform in size, and a lot of pictures like this in Billings. So if you were already up in that area for the much bigger storm that happened not too long ago, this is going to be, I think, in a different area too, so it kind of adds fuel for the Billings, Montana area, turning into possibly a nice little honey hole for 2019. So check that out on our website. For today's forecast, we're looking at 2 different areas, kind of similar to yesterday in terms of the high plains in Colorado at risk for some hail. I have it east of Denver. Very possible this could be extended further south towards Fort Collins, but 5% Cheyenne, and probably maybe also Fort Collins as well. Denver, I think storms are going to form just to your east, so probably not so much for Denver proper and the immediate town surrounding it, but maybe a little bit further to the north and up towards Cheyenne. Up to 2-inch hail possible in the strongest storms there. 5% chance further north by Rapid City, but I think the hail potential will be further to your west, so I don't really think there's going to be too much big hail there. And possibly even some storms with up to quarter-size hail meandering into western Oklahoma today as well. And finally, off to the east by Virginia and far northern sections of North Carolina. Could see some up to $half size hail with some storms popping up this afternoon. That should quickly wind down after sunset. So future radar does show the storms forming kind of near Denver. It doesn't look like anything's going to really take off until it gets just past you guys. Further north, different story, possibly towards sections of Fort Collins or in that general area up to by Cheyenne. Again, 2-inch hail with the biggest storms there, and then it kind of turns into more of a wind threat as the evening wears on. So I think the hail potential for today is going to be fairly limited to the first couple hours of storms forming after about 4 o'clock Central Time, so after about 3 o'clock Mountain Time, and then that will wind down, probably not be hail producing anymore not too long after sunset. So moving off to the ECC, storms in the Virginia area and into North Carolina. Again, those probably more wind producers, but there's always that chance you get a couple storms to pop up with up to $half size hail, and that'll wind down very quickly. You'll either move off the coast or the sun will set by this evening, and that's when storms will wind down there. What about this weekend? We're looking at Saturday. Potential of 2 areas here across Kansas into Oklahoma, maybe up to some ping pong ball size hail, the strongest storms there. That's going to be, especially in this swath, focused much more into western Kansas, not as much in Oklahoma, and ping pong ball size hail possible up across North and South Dakota and possibly even the far southern sections of Manitoba, Canada, all of which happening in the afternoon hours into the evening and probably after sunset in the darkness as well. Storms here forming after about 3 or 4 o'clock. You can see some pretty nasty storms. This is your best bet, possibly even hail bigger than ping pong ball size if things pan out. There's a lot of questions up in the air about tomorrow, so I didn't really go super aggressive. We'll have a forecast graphic for your Saturday, and off to the north, you can see storms forming as well after about, you're getting close to about 4 or 5 o'clock, again, even later, probably after 7 o'clock, which is where this one ends. So, first time in a while, we got a tropical check in here. Looks like finally the Atlantic is realizing it's the second half of August. We have gone probably a near record amount of time with almost no activity to speak of across the Atlantic Ocean and even the Pacific. But we have 3 things to look at here. We got tropical something Chantal. I think it got to a weak tropical storm and then became this like subtropical mess. Probably shouldn't even, honestly, probably wouldn't even been a named storm had it been in 10, 15 years ago. But the main thing to focus, of course, is here in the red area. This is in the next 5 days. Looks very likely we're going to see some kind of tropical system form. Probably tropical storm, was it Darian, I think is what the next name is. So, have to talk about the Amazon rainforest fire. That's the real problem. Yes, that is actually a very major problem, but we're not talking about that too much here in this forecast. That is its own can of worms. Yeah, that's a big time problem. So again, we have a tropical system likely forming here in the next probably 72 hours, and it looks like it's going to kind of meander across southern Florida and then come back across. So I don't think there's going to have too much time to strengthen beyond maybe a low-end tropical storm. Ton of rain for Florida before it moves off the coast, and then we'll be watching this development here over the next week or so, and this one could be more interesting as it eventually heads towards the Caribbean and maybe towards the United States, but still way too far out for any of that. Somebody mentioned the Saharan dust. Yes, that has pretty much what shut down the tropics for a good chunk of the summer, but things are starting to change a little bit. I think we'll see more development as we move into September here, as more storms are moving off the coast, and we are also seeing a kind of less Saharan dust being dumped into the Atlantic Ocean. Yes. So, anyway, so this is what the satellite is showing this morning across the near the Bahamas. This is what Invest number 98, I believe, and this is what might turn into our next tropical system right off the coast of Florida near Miami, and it's looking like here are what all the models are showing. Unfortunately, we have quite a bit of comments coming in here, but it looks like we have quite a few different models showing storm. It's going to move across southern Florida, probably hang out, and then eventually move harmlessly out to sea. So again, the tropics are waking up. This is not going to be a big deal in terms of like major wind or anything. I think this will be a lot of flooding rain for southern Florida before it boots off the coast next week. But hey, it's just a sign of things are waking up in the Atlantic and possibly even into the Caribbean, into the Gulf a little bit later. And we'll be watching it carefully. Of course, go chase anything that hits the continental U.S. and is strong enough, at least a hurricane is usually what we will go out for. So, that's all we got for you guys today. And see the comments are pretty active, bringing up the tropical stuff there. And the Amazon forest fires, definitely check that out. That is a very big deal, by the way. The rainforest on fire is not good. So, follow us here on Facebook. Hit See First for more updates here, and give us a call at 855-334-4245. Any comments, questions, or concerns you may have, and you need to set up a training or you're interested in hail trace in general, good number to call. You can email us info@hailtrace.com. Of course, find more information at just hailtrace.com, and follow us on Instagram. We do posts on there as well. Hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll probably have posts tomorrow and Sunday, unless something real crazy happens, and we'll have a video. But likely I'll see you guys again on Monday at noon on whatever platform you watch us on. So have a great weekend, everybody.